Hi, good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about the new Birds of Prey trailer. We have got some news about robots, the AI management system from Warner Brothers. We're going to be talking about Netflix introducing some mobile plans, and we're going to do a little fun stuff talking about some movie TV Bonnaroo. So let's get started. I've got a great panel with me today. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning.
Happy to do the news today.
I'm very excited for you to do the very serious news today.
We're doing our NPR voices today?
Yeah. Yes. Today is only NPR voices.
Hi. Good morning.
There's our Spencer Gilbert.
Good morning, Danielle. I spent the morning crunching some numbers and very excited to get into the variety of topics you've cultivated for today's show.
And I'm Terry Gross. All right. So first, we're going to start with the Birds of Prey trailer. This is via Warner Brothers. The second Birds of Prey trailer did come out this morning. We have all seen it. It showed us some more of Harley Quinn and some more of Black Mask. Obviously, we've all got a chance to look at it. Does anyone have any initial thoughts? Does it look like more of a team movie now, or does it still feel like Harley Quinn and the Pips?
It does, and I don't. That's fine. Yeah, you gotta take your big star and use your big star to put over all these. No one cared about War Machine if he wasn't going to be paired with Iron Man. You don't lead with you don't lead with Cassandra Cain. Are you mad? Lead with Harley Quinn. I think this looks so fun. This looks like the closest thing we're gonna get to a Saints Row video game. With just all the weird neon and colors and funsies, and I think this looks super fun.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the Pips are the one thing that is the one thing I didn't love about this. I'm so on board with Harley. I'm so on board with the like Joel Schumacher in a back alley Goodwill.
Yes. No, it's giving me straight up Tank Girl vibes. I'm so into it.
Yeah, I love this movie aesthetically. And then it's weird because like even though the jokes didn't really land, I still really like her and I like what she's doing with the character and I love the way it looks. So I hope they don't Justice League it and be like, we're putting a team together. You're this person, you're that person. Like give people a fair shake to establish a character.
At least QuickTime videos first.
At least a real player video. But other than that, yeah, it's weird. Like even it's like greater than the sum of its parts for me.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. What do you think?
I mean, it seems like they are going to take this with a wink and a nod. Like they have the whole get the band together, and then they're just like, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like we're going to be doing some fantasy sequences and stuff with the whole Marilyn Monroe vibe, which I like. I like that they tweak the kind of one of the iconic Joker shots of him walking away from the explosion in the hospital with her walking away from Ace Kim. I just think that's a way to sort of nod at the legacy and also separate yourself.
I do have a question about that. So they're clearly, we don't know what's going to happen. The movie's not out, but they're clearly kind of nodding it like maybe she killed the Joker. Do you think they called Jared Leto first before the trailer came out to let him know that was going to happen?
No.
Well, do we think he's in the movie?
No.
All right.
Morbius might be in the movie before that Joker ever ends up on the big screen again.
I think there's going to be like a hand with like a pinky ring and like a pale hand with like a stupid thumb tat, and then somebody's voice is gonna say there will be a Joker in this movie.
Maybe you should see like a glint of a grill.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite Walt Whitman poem.
Glint
of a grill. No, man. I think they'll make a fake movie. They'll make a fake Joker movie that never sees the light of day just to like keep Jared Leto occupied and happy.
Like a little busy box for
him. But it'll never be. There's no film in the camera, and I say no to Joker in this movie.
You know what kind of threw me though is the very, very, very opening line of the trailer. Her Australian accent comes through very clearly on one word. So I thought for a second they're like, oh, is she just gonna do her like Australia? But then no, it was just odd that they would choose a take for the very first line where like one word is like Australia.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on purpose. I don't know.
I think that they were trying to do a thing where Harley is trying to do an accent, but she's Harley, so she's bad at it, so she still sounds like Harley trying to do an accent.
I couldn't quite get it.
Layers.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to do like a whole thing. And so we also get Ewan McGregor wearing the black mask. Apparently people online from the first trailer were super cranky that didn't happen. Does this make a difference to you at all?
Well, I've never seen a superhero film, Danielle, and so I've never been familiar with the trope of character eventually has their comic accurate favorite costume. So I was really freaked out when we didn't see Ewan McGregor immediately wearing a black mask in the trailer for the movie that's not supposed to show us everything in the movie.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't cover that face
Don't
up.
cover.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Ewan McGregor's face covered with a black mask.
No.
He's,
That could be anybody.
Yeah. Don't hide his light under a bushel.
No, come on. He'll put it on. He'll do the stuff with the black mask. But come on, he's a gift to humanity.
You paid for a McGregor. Show the McGregor.
Yeah. I was upset that he had the beard for Obi-Wan. I'm just like, you're covering half his face. don't just put a mask on him the whole time. Who is he? Pedro Pascal? Come on.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Get one of the Wayne brothers to play him. Since anyone can be under the mask. It's like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the part of the show where we like to thank y'all so much for all of the work that you do and just like sharing us with your friends. You subscribe, you turn on all of your notifications, you comment, you hit that bell. Thank you, Ryan. And so we just want to give a really sincere shout out to all of you for making this channel what it is and how we're able to do cool stuff. Like we just put out an episode of Power Levels, which is Force versus Magic. You can check that out. We just did the honest trailer and honest trailer commentary for every Quentin Tarantino movie, which is out. And then obviously our Galaxy Quest documentary Never Surrender is out, and you can buy that anywhere where you can buy movies. And the links for all of those should be in the description. Now, I'm sure you all know about what's going on with the Australian wildfires. We are going to be spending the rest of January sharing some links where you can donate to help out with that effort. And so please check the links in the description below. Next, we got a little bit of, this is some fun broccoli right here. I love this. Segment number 2, Warner Brothers AI Management System. This is via THR. The movie division has signed a deal with Synalytic, that makes more sense, to use the latter's AI-driven project management system that was launched last year.
I just can't stop thinking of Osimo.
I think you should make a movie about the Joker.
Starring Adam Sandler.
That'd be awesome. It's just a combination of him and Henry Fondle from BoJack Horseman. I think am I the only BoJack person?
Yes.
Okay,
Right
long
now,
story.
yes.
Someone makes a sex robot and it turns out to be it ends up owning Facebook.
There you go. But sorry, continue.
With this very serious news story. So under this deal, Warner Brothers is going to leverage the system's comprehensive data and predictive analytics to guide decision making at the green light stage.
You don't have to read any of this.
No, one thing I want to say is
it's good gibberish though.
No, one of the things I want to say is one of them said, this insight might have altered decision making on some of Warner's misfires from 2019, such as The Kitchen, Shaft, and Godzilla. Did we need a computer to tell us not to make another Shaft?
Well, that's the type of thing a computer would tell you to do.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to reboot an old 70s TV show with Sam Jackson.
It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome.
Well, and what they wouldn't have made Godzilla? Of course they would have made Godzilla.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
I did some comparative, I would like to go to Synalytics, but first of all, kudos to them. They invented a product. They're selling it. That's what you do. You're a company. You sell a product. If someone's stupid enough to buy it, they're going to buy it. But I would, sorry, but if you were to go to Synalytics and input into the systems Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Shazam, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Joker, I promise you that Joker would not have been the $1 billion movie predicted by Synalytics. If you were to go
I disagree with you there, because I think that the one thing that Warner Brothers does is they're like, our movies with the Joker do really good. But if you need to hire a computer to tell you that,
well, let me ask you this one though.
Computerized Joker stuff?
Yeah.
Let's wipe Synalytics clean. Rampage, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, with a big release in China, versus A Star Is Born, starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, with no release in China.
Right.
What do you think that computer would have told you to do? Crazy Rich Asians, with no big movie stars, versus a comedy like Tag, that has Jeremy Renner and a few other stars. What do you think the computer would have told you to do? Justice League, which has a big China release, PG-13, big movie stars, culmination of the DC universe, versus It. Doesn't sniff a release in China. R-rated horror movie, no stars. What do you think that computer would have told you?
So, for some,
there you go.
Because I agree with you.
Yeah.
For some context, I don't like Synalytics because they've scanned my old job. They replaced my old grocery cashier job with a robot. Because, they've always done, everyone was freaking out online yesterday, like, oh, God, they're just going to make robots make the decisions now? Which, would be cool. Like, if there were just robots walking around the back lot of Warner Brothers, you'd be stoked. You wouldn't care about how
more
bad the movies
Tiffany
were.
Haddish.
Yeah, you would just want to take the Warner Brothers studio tour so you could see the Tiffany Haddish loving bot. But this is something they've always done, right? Where it's like, okay, you take the average of these actors' 5 to 10 biggest grossing things, and we just need the numbers in front of us. It's how they would strategize international release, stuff like that. Because you do it right down to the region. It's like, well, who's really going to play in South America? Okay,
right.
Based on that, we think it's really going to open big. Now a robot just does that quicker and doesn't pay a kid who's just temping as an admin assistant so he can focus on stand-up comedy at night and do a job he doesn't actually care about during the day. That's
oddly specific.
That's a weird loss of the industry, right?
And also, I'm speaking of Tiffany Haddish. I'm going to put on my soy girl hat for a second.
She is a robot.
She is a robot. But this is one of those things where this is something people have been talking about a lot, in that computers in themselves are not biased, but if you're basing it on old intel and the way things used to be, then those analytics can start to be biased, and you don't get a girls trip. That would be something that a company would put out, and then you don't get big breakout stars like Tiffany Haddish.
Well, you don't get anything different.
Yeah, you don't get
Maybe
anything
they should
different
analyze the
ever.
script.
We'll
See if the script's any good.
That's where I think
That's a good idea.
Sounds like a good one.
I think
Hey,
That's something
put
robots should do as well.
Maybe have an AI watch a movie and decide if it's a piece of crap, and then maybe that should dictate how you release
Well,
it.
I think both of you bring up a good point. Danielle brings up a really good blind spot, because these analytics are dependent on someone else taking a chance with a new star and allowing someone else to get someone to blow up so that they can appear on your spreadsheet. But I also think another blind spot is writers. Like that kind of, I never see that kind of thing on those spreadsheets where it's like, should Chris Terrio write Star Wars? Let's look at the averages. Oh no, no. Let's have someone else do it. Maybe
partly because, credited or not, every blockbuster has 12 writers on it.
Sure.
It's gone through so many poop filters that there's barely anything left from whoever's name is on it. So it's probably tougher to track. But yeah.
That was a weird way to out me as the writer of Rise of Skywalker.
Everything you hate, this guy.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you that The Rock does well in China. Hire me.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Watch Charting for free. I'll save you the money.
We'll dress Dan as a robot.
Yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a pretty good record as a box office star when he's with a group, but his record is a little more spotty and a solo-driven project.
I love the Murrell Borg.
I do like Borg. Is this how Skynet begins, or all?
No, this is just how we keep getting the same crap again forever, but slightly worse.
I mean, if it's Skynet slowly disappointing us to death, which is kind of a slower, more painful, more screwed up death. God, Skynet, that's really cold. Then maybe, but...
Get ready for movies that are just remixes of things that you've liked before. Oh, you like this? Well, take it and put it in your face, fanboy, because this is what you're getting.
Hey, we all loved Girl Talk for a long time.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Mashups.
I mean, I get that you have to do analysis, I guess, but it's like, why? How much could that possibly help? Shouldn't it be hey, is it good? Is it exciting?
Well, it's not so much
is it a good
that,
idea?
if you, as a studio executive, can't take an afternoon to be like, well, we're thinking about this star and this project. Is this going to be something that this culture or country or whatever finds interesting? You shouldn't have a job. You shouldn't need a robot
There's
to
a part
do
about
that.
it being on the festival level.
Yeah, that was one of those things they talked about, and they said, this can save you from, you can analyze it in seconds rather than having to take days when you're trying to do these things during a festival, whatever. But part of me just
that's
thinks,
what I'm going to
Supposed to know enough about movies that you can walk into a festival and be like, that's a good movie.
I'm going to steal your quote that you took from John Gilbert. That's what the money's for. That's why you hire competent people to go to festivals and pick out movies. Not to punch punch numbers into a friggin'
The festival
computer. It's to actually look at a movie and go, is that good? Do you think people will pay to see it?
The festival angle also sounds a little bit like a has this ever happened to you, where the guy reaches for the remote and spills like 8 gallons of Cheetos, and it's like, if only there was a better way. It's like, are you tired of taking weeks upon weeks to figure out if you want to buy this new Noah Hawley movie?
So like, hey, maybe with some things, if not festival-wise, but maybe it's okay if you take a day to think about art. Like, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah. Or like do your homework before you see the movie. Be like, okay, where's this coming from? Who are these people? What have they made before? And then go in and see.
It turns out they give you all of that information before you go into the movie.
Or maybe go in saying, I don't care how much money this makes. I think I would be proud for our studio to put out this movie because it's really good.
Oh,
yes.
Maybe that would be a good strategy.
Maybe other people
Okay,
want to
John
work
Connor.
with us. Yeah, there's so many human factors that go into movie making decisions like this that this sucks.
Well,
yeah, this sucks.
I mean, and you know, on one hand, it doesn't mean that like everyone is shut out of the decision making now, and there's just like several monitors staring at each other making modem noises, and then like
No, that's just it's like in Evangelion when he goes to like the monoliths that like make the decision.
Oh, I love you so much.
There you go.
Evangelion
Gave you-
reference
gave you
before
an
noon.
reference.
In 10 years, Warner Brothers is just going to be that bunker from the Winter Soldier where, like, you go underground and, like,
Dr. Zola.
yeah, like a picture, like a Dr. Zola face is on the screen, and you're like, Dr. Zola, what film should we make? It's like, I think that you should make another Jojo Rabbit. What? It's not even our studio. I have spoken.
And the fact that they're hoping to apply this to the festival circuit is very bizarre to me, to help them with that decision making, because that is all, again, to crib from South Park, gay cowboys eating pudding. Like, it's all weird and offbeat and things that you wouldn't
And that's
normally
why we
get in a
like
multiplex.
it.
And that's why you
That's
like it,
the
because
point.
it's different, because surely a robot couldn't do this. So go figure.
Go figure.
Can humanity have anything? Can we get one thing that's not taken by these like dorks in fleece vests and lanyards being like, oh, our stupid
We're disrupting art.
Next week, I'm just going to be a monitor with New Balance on. That's it. All right, segment number
We have
3.
some audience members who would be like, at least I'd get some proper movie compensation.
At least you would have maybe spent more than 5 minutes talking about the Birds of Prey trailer.
At least computers don't laugh with their friends.
Netflix is bringing a new mobile-only plan to more markets. So in July, Netflix launched, and this is via THR, Netflix launched its first mobile-only plan, rolling out a $2.99 a month offering in India to help boost its reach in a country boasting 478 million smartphone users. India did become the first country in the world where the streaming video giant launched such an offering to take on local rivals and drive user growth in a price-sensitive market, which is a good way to put that. I have mixed feelings about this one because on the one hand, obviously, like movies, it's not great to see a movie like this. But on the other hand, according to the article and some of the stats, a lot of folks want this plan because a lot of them are already watching entertainment on their phone. Sure. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad, and this isn't why they're doing it. Let me say that right up front. They're doing it because money. But I also think it's not necessarily a bad thing to remove barriers for more kinds of entertainment and art.
I agree. I understand why, because the article said they're putting $400 million into local programming. Netflix is just on this, but I understand that you're going to 478 million smartphone users. Like that's an emergent. I mean, I see the capability, but I crunched the numbers.
Thank you, Dan.
Roborg.
Per capita income in the U.S. $62,000 a year. Per capita income in India, from the research and that was in the article as well, it was $2,015 per year. So this plan, which is their cheap plan, $3 a month, sounds good. You know, $36 a year. What a cheap plan. But when you adjust that for per capita income, that would be the equivalent of $92 a month in the U.S., $1,100 a year. Just for that, which I think if you were to go up to somebody making $62,000 a year and say, like, would you pay $92 a month for Netflix on your phone? some people might, but then I think a lot of other people would be like, oh, that's a lot of money. Not to say that people aren't going to buy it, but I think when, I know that they want to do pricing optional and lower price conscious, I think they call plans for places with lower income. But at the same time, in a lot of these places, the income is not that high. And I don't know how high a priority Netflix is going to be when they're gauging what the money is going to go to every month. So I get why they're making the move. I'm sure that they are going to make some progress, but at the same time, the question also has to be like, yes, you have a huge potential consumer base, but what's your actual consumer base? Because I think in that article they said that the numbers were lower than they had thought that they would be thus far in this market. And I think part of the reason may be why that, like, there is a threshold at which people are not going to choose entertainment for where to spend their money.
Right. And they did say that they are also considering doing one of those bundle plans where it's like if you buy 3 months up front, that it'll be cheaper as a way to kind of spike some sales on that.
I do think it spotlights a big advantage Netflix has in the streaming wars. They're just the international angle for them. They're so much more flexible right now. They can do things like invest in local programming. I think they've done a really smart thing in like, Nailed It's popular. Like, here's a Nailed It for every country because it's cheap to make and people will love it and people will watch it. I do think it's smart for them to stay flexible and try to break down some barriers in terms of price and how people are going to watch stuff. Because I think they're also focusing in on areas where it's like, hey, maybe you don't have like a sick entertainment center like in your home, but like most people are at least going to have like smartphones, to some level. And again, I think that the priority thing is a great point, but like you said too, because money, they got to figure out a way to sell to everyone. I think this is interesting. That Netflix is able to stick and move a little bit. They're a little leaner, and
yeah, they do own the international rights to like pretty much everything. Certainly everything they make. They can do all over the world, and like if they create a format, they can replicate it like 37 different ways. But yeah, I think that if they price this too high, they can always just lower the price. They're just looking to get Netflix users, like just hoover up the entire world is their plan. And then, someday in the far off future, there's a golden city called profitability. They can keep selling investors and keep raising more and more money or taking out more and more debt just to sign every single person in the world up to Netflix. And then phase 2 happens.
But this is their lowest. This is their lowest price plan. I think they've already introduced higher price plans, and also they said that they're already being undercut by Disney and Amazon already.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that there's an option?
In India?
Yeah. Wow. Do you think that there's an option that might work in the U.S.? It was something I was thinking about because you can still on a Netflix plan only have so many logins at once. Maybe there could be like, a cheap $2.99 option that would be just for like phones or for tablets, but it would be aimed at kids or something like that, where it's like Netflix Kids, and then you never have to watch your child because Netflix is on it.
Well, it worked out great for you too.
Right.
Yes.
Different, completely different.
Yeah, completely different.
Maybe. I don't know. Again, it's like they're doing fine in the U.S., I think. I mean, I don't know. I think their market penetration in the U.S. is pretty good.
We're very saturated here.
We're very saturated, but it's like, how do you
always have to like do more. If you're not growing, you're dying, or whatever that stupid.
Well, I think to what you said, sort of like lowering the price again. I think Netflix would be okay with handing this stuff out for free in some areas. Like, I think the point is make Netflix the Coke of streaming. Like, you don't say streaming, you say, let's go Netflix a thing. Whether you refer to Amazon or Disney, you just call it all Netflix. I think that's the goal. Like, that's the win for them. And no matter how far off the golden city kind of starts to get.
No, when you say it's the Coke of streaming, do you mean it's like really addictive? It starts out cheap and then it progressively gets more expensive.
And you're chasing that initial high.
They start putting cinnamon in it.
Yeah.
I meant Coke. Queen Phoebe is the crank of streaming.
Well, going back to the Birds of Prey trailer, does she?
Trey is her friend that loves birds.
Birds of Trey.
Birds for Trey is my Quibi series, and I hope you sign up to watch. She does get superpowers from cocaine, like Bruce Banner. I think that might have been my favorite moment of the trailer. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
She's hiding behind, unless it's like, oh, this is Squank, or like some made-up comic book drug.
That's what it's gonna be.
It looks like powder is flying out, and then she hoovers it up, Wolf of Wall Street style, and then like has superpowers. I didn't know if that's canon, that Harley is a cokehead who fights better.
I mean, it's common sense.
She got them from her girlfriend, Poison Ivy.
Got it.
Who was like, to be around me, I'm poison, so I have to make you super, and gave her a shot, and then suddenly she could do gymnastics and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
That's how it worked in the comics.
Great.
Nice.
All right, y'all. This is a segment I'm very excited about, and I have way too many options for. Bonnaroo just released its lineup, and I feel like such an old, because I don't know half of these noodle bands or SoundCloud rappers. So I'm like going through and trying to see people.
Noodle bands.
Noodle bands.
Yeah, give yourself a break. Bonnaroo has always been the Birkenstock one that has like 17 guitar players in
What
one
was the one you
band.
found, like Lizard Gizzards and the Beep Bop Snorts?
Well, they're actually pretty good. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I think, or something like that.
That is a real name. I didn't believe that when he said it.
Playing Coachella too. They're coming up. You'll know about them.
Wow.
They're this
You
year's
laugh
Lizzo.
at King Gizzard now.
So we are going to host our own.
Two drummers.
Of course they have two drummers. We're going to host our own SJU Bonnaroo with our favorite on-screen musical acts. So we're all picking two. I might have too many. Joe, let's start with you.
Oh God. I just wrote down like 20 things.
Same.
How do you start, SJU? I think. I think a headliner you gotta put in Powerline. Your sick nostalgia act from Goofy Movie, Eye to Eye and Stand Out or Jams, and I think that's your solid like. Oh, where's Powerline been? Oh, he's at Bonnaroo. Oh God, yeah. I think that's one of my headline picks.
That's a good headline pick.
Like a night two.
Yeah.
Dan?
Well, I think a great maybe day one, or leading into the headliner, perhaps, or maybe night two. Sing Street.
Hey!
Young band,
That's really nice.
hungry, great songs, throwback.
Just came out with a great first album.
They did.
Yeah. Getting a lot of hype.
They're on the rise. Sing Street. Gotta have Sing Street.
Lead
at
singer
SJU
may have
Bonnaroo.
recently died crossing the ocean in a rowboat.
Yeah, during a storm. We don't know. No one knows. We'll see.
Great story.
This one, it's really hard for my first one. But I think we've got to go with, because everyone likes when a band reunites for a festival, and this band would have just reunited, the Reunited Style Boys from Popstar.
Oh yeah.
I think we put that one, and it's also kind of a nostalgia act as well, so I think
Yep.
that one would be one of my main stage ones.
Nice. See, I hear Bonnaroo, and I think like going back to the roots of like the kind of bluegrass, barefoot country music, and I'm doing Banjo Kid from Deliverance.
Which is funny because I almost did the Doof Warrior. As well.
Oh, yeah.
That's
More of a Coachella.
That's more of a
Coachella.
Yeah.
Can you actually, I think some international fans who don't know what Bonnaroo is, so can you just context the music festival? Like broad strokes.
You've heard of Fish, right?
And Bonnaroo's in Manchester,
and Woodstock.
or?
It's in Tennessee. So, I don't know. It's in a field. It's in a big field. America's got a lot of those international viewers.
in
A lot of
Tennessee.
big, empty, mud-filled fields, and a lot of freewheeling folks in the '90s decided to get together and celebrate. You know, it was an attempt to kind of recreate a '60s and '70s music festival, and the music was like accordingly throwback to that time and place. But you know, because corporations like money, this is now, you know, I'm sure much like Coachella, branded, and you can see you know, whatever, like you said, from SoundCloud rap to big DJs to everything to whatever's in the top 40, as well as, you know, Subhead. You can still see Primus.
You can still see Primus. That was one name I was like, okay, I got one.
Gotta get Primus in there, right?
Got some Primus.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Man, I don't know. This is hard.
It's really hard.
I was thinking Stillwater for a second. Like,
They'd be great.
but my heart And then I was like, oh, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
That's good too, yeah.
But I'm gonna go Mitch and Mickey from A Mighty Wind. Catherine O'Hara. And, go a little folk. I think it fits the vibe well. I could definitely see them opening for Deliverance Banjo Boy. Plus there would be a lot of drama surrounding the performance.
Yes.
One of them might walk off mid-stage.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be good.
got this for you.
Yeah, you just find Eugene Levy wandering with the people, just like in a drug-filled haze. Yeah.
That's good.
I was gonna say Llewyn Davis, but we just went on the folk train, so I'm gonna adjust things, and I'm gonna say Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash.
Ooh,
That's good.
Because that feels like something they would do.
Yeah.
They would be like, we have Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash at Bonnaroo.
He is the Johnny Cash currently available to us.
He is sadly, he's the only Johnny Cash we currently have, and I think he'd do it. I think he would skip the Oscars to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm going to go Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would he also the next night perform? He did a rap documentary, right?
did, yeah.
Or am I
He
say,
did.
yeah. Would he also?
I know. I think the next night would be like the what was the Bob Dylan movie where it's like Christian Bale and Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
That's what the next night would be. Would be like the Bob Dylan review with all
100%.
of those folks.
all right.
So yes.
I think. Oh, see, this one is hard because I can't tell if I want to do. I think I'm going to go with another pop one because you've got to do something, and I just love these. These songs are like legitimately songs I would buy. Josie and the Pussycats, but it's got to be movie, not TV show. Nothing wrong with the TV show, but the movie songs are so like Pretend to Be Nice is a legit bop.
Yep.
It is a really good song, and so I think that would be one of my other ones.
Sure. I'll throw the Soggy Bottom Boys out there.
Yeah.
Soggy Bottom Boys.
That's a nice throwback. They can just harmonize in the mud together.
They're not even on the stage.
No.
They're just down there with the people.
Yeah, they get out there.
I like
This
it.
next song's called "We Thought You Was a Toad."
All right, so now we're going to do Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh boy.
Who would pick your favorite?
Oh yeah, let me in. P Rabbit. What's he doing since he won that rap battle? He's
He'd
in
be
the
at the
gathering.
Juggalos.
Yeah, he's in the gathering.
Al Pacino from Tropic Thunder. He would be. Much of the way the Cooley
Al Pacino from Jack and Jill.
Who knew Al Pacino would be at gatherings so many times?
What's my name? Dr. Chino. Dr. Chino.
Just surrounded by girls in clown masks.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Just spraying Faygo on people.
Yes, yes.
That's where he belongs.
Al Pacino spraying Faygo.
I think Rob Zombie has a cameo as a band in the Devil's Rejects.
I believe so.
that they'd be there, and the Doof Warrior could do double duty.
Yeah, the Duke Warrior.
Duke Warrior is
would
definitely there.
Hit the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh, and Jamie Kennedy, Malibu's Most Wanted.
Even if he's just a juggalo that jumps on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any gathering?
I'm trying to think of others. I keep thinking of good bands, and I'm thinking they're too good for the Gathering of the Juggalos.
I think back in the 80s in the G.I. Joe cartoon, Cobra once plotted to hypnotize America's youth with a heavy metal band called Cold Slither.
Sick.
Yes.
I think Cold Slither would absolutely play the Gathering of the Juggalos. It was a good song, too.
This is where I'm putting in Drive Shaft.
From Lost?
Yes.
You all, everybody.
I think the Juggalos would get down on that.
I think they would actually.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that they would.
Yeah,
they
but-
would. Oh, definitely the Green Room band.
Yeah.
The band, the Neil Hirsch's band from Green Room, R.I.P. I think they'd definitely play Gathering.
I think we did it.
I think we did it. Y'all leave your Gathering of the Gathering of the
They're
Juggalos.
getting a lot.
Gathering of the Junkalos.
Yes. Gathering of the Junkalos.
Yes.
SJ Rue and Gathering of the Junkalos.
Yes.
You leave those down in the description below. Don't forget to go to follow us on @ScreenJunkiesU, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.